A beautiful Thursday afternoon for some CHSAA lacrosse. And it's only here on News 12 Varsity as two great rivals will clash once again. It's the Kellenberg Firebirds visiting the St. John the Baptist Cougars. Hi everybody and welcome once again to News 12 Varsity. I'm Dan Savarino and we're out here at West Islip for round number 2 of St. John the Baptist and Kellenberg. Two schools that have met each other countless times in the Nassau-Suffolk CHSAA championship game. Well, they already met once this season, and it was an absolute classic. And even though both squads have had pretty tough competition early on in the first couple of games, now they're starting to click at the right time. At last meeting, a 10-9 win over for Kellenberg at their home field. Will we end up seeing that again today? Who knows? But you know you're going to see a good battle here today. Taking a look at some of our impact players for today. Brendan Kelly, a senior captain, headed 4 in that victory last time these two teams faced. Real good quick lefty who's converted attack into a midfielder. Meanwhile, for St. John the Baptist, Stephen Becker will take his talent to the city of brotherly love. But first, a guy who's netted 14 this year and 35 points is their leading returning scorer with 66 last season. So that's where we are at St. John the Baptist. It's Kellenberg. It's round 2, and it's only on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all, the face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
West Islip, New York. It's time once again for high school boys lacrosse on News 12 Varsity. And today, a AA CHSAA battle between St. John the Baptist and Kellenberg. Hi again, everybody. Dan Savarino here with you this afternoon into the evening. Thanks so much for joining us. These two groups will meet once again. Last game for St. John the Baptist, it was the Kellenberg game, a 10-9 win for the Firebirds, who wear the blue uniforms from right to left. We'll bring it down to the face-off X already and taking the draw here. Well, actually, they're going to go with the pole, as Rafael Moses will end up taking the draw against Paul Argueros. Goal to our left, it's Tommy Sullivan, the junior, who has been exceptional this year. To our right, it's Jared Posidel, the senior. Fresh 12 minutes on the clock. We're underway. Thanks so much for joining us. As Argueros will bring it into the attacking end and feed it off immediately as our first attack unit of Sean Crotty, Alex Ellis, and Mike Abramo will get going. His Kellenberg team 3-8 on the season. But some of the competition they have seen this year, they really tested themselves in the non-conference game against Massapequa. They fell by 1, actually 4 losses of the 8. By a total of 6 goals. And here is the first goal of the game as Mike Abramo rips a shot past Sullivan's top right corner, right over that right shoulder to 1-0 lead for the Firebirds. So Abramo, the first-year starter, gets the first goal on the board. Netted 2 in the first meeting between the two teams. As we were mentioned for Kellenberg, they had 4 losses by 6 total goals. They've seen Massapequa, they saw St. Anthony's. Iona Prep, of course, what they will see going forward if they end up reaching the downstate final. Gordon Prep is a 2-goal loss. And then Chaminade, they played a tight game and fell by 7 to one of the top teams in the nation. Violation will give Baptist their first possession of this game. Scavone, Leo, and Becker are the attacking unit. First midfielders, Connor Bushley, Sean Cavanaugh, and Tom Kleinfelder, the junior. Here is Cavanaugh, the senior, who's going to go play football at Gettysburg, and feeds it off to Becker, who we highlighted before, a future Drexel Dragon in the CIA. Back to center point. Hustling in is Kleinfelder. More of a defensive role last year. Gets some offensive duties now as a junior. Playing more of an all-around game. Decker with a beautiful move inside, but just misses a little dump shot over Posidel. A heck of a roll dodge coming towards the crease. Just wasn't sure how close he was, and that's why he fired it over the net. St. John the Baptist 2-7 overall, and for a very, very young group. They graduated 5 starting seniors from a year ago. 9 juniors, 5 seniors, rest of them are freshmen or sophomores in this rotation. And under head coach Tom Gilmore, the second-year head coach. Decker gets along the crease, skip pass, and the shot got blocked as Kavanaugh released it and hit one of the Kellenberg D-men. Good lengthy possession here for the Cougars. Again, this season, a lot of it was confidence, according to Coach Gilmartin. Early on, when you have such young guys, not many practices, and even the past couple of days, they were supposed to play on Tuesday against St. Dom's. That got moved, and Decker rips the shot high and wide. So they have not played since on the 18th when they faced Kellenberg. Wanted to see maybe a team in between, but that might have been the game this season where some of the guys realized, hey, listen, we're a solid group. We can play with some of them. Coming inside, trying to dump a little one in is Becker again. That will miss. And it'll be a crease violation as well, so Kellenberg will take the ball back and look to clear. Defensive unit of Sluka, Marco Mangelli, and Kenny Brower with a pretty good job, even though some shots were there, none hit the cage. Now the offensive unit back on. It's Ellis. Behind the net, Abramo. Him and Ellis are the two initiators on the offensive attack. And coming on the field for the first midfield unit of Grimm Barrett and Brendan Kelly, number 11. All lanky, big, strong guys working in that midfield unit. Tough players as well. Here is Kelly. Dodges towards his left, tries to dump it down low. It got deflected. Played back out to the midfield, scooped up by Barrett, the senior captain. All 3 midfielders on the first line are senior captains. And all 3 will be going to college to play some type of sport. Ellis tries to finesse a pass inside. That was intended for Sean Crotty. Another turnover will go the other way. Kleinfelder. Getting used to that defensive role. That's why he usually stays on the field. Gets hacked at a couple of times on the defensive end. And a penalty will be upcoming as we see the yellow flag hit the field for the first time. Mangelli a little bit too aggressive, the senior 2-year starter. So our first extra man opportunity for the Cougars. Be a 1-minute slashing penalty. And a chance to tie up the score. St. John the Baptist coming off their second straight regular season title last year in the NSCH SAA before falling to Fordham in the intersectional playoff, that downstate final. Moved over to the near side. Kavanaugh, he was one of the guys there. Bushley, who has come on very strong as of late, number 8. Pump fake by Decker. Far goal line extended here. The low to high, and it cranks right off the left post. Kleinfelder had a pretty good action on that shot, but closest to the sideline will be Kellenberg. A chance to go from right to left with about a half-minute remaining in the man down. And a timeout will be called by Mike Schwale, the 6th-year head coach. So 1-0 lead. Abramo, very early on the very first possession and first shot of the game, gave the Firebirds the lead. Mike Schwale will talk to his group over there. 23 years as an assistant coach at St. Anthony's. Had stints, Nassau Community College, University of Baltimore. Very close friends with, of course, Keith Weiserick, who he coached under at St. Anthony's as one of the OCs. And Jack Moran of Chaminade. They're all directors for the Long Island Express. A lot of experience at the helm for a group that is looking to make the jump to possibly get to AAA, and we would not end up seeing just the 2 teams going back and forth, where, of course, St. Anthony, Chaminade have done for a number of years now, where they already know when the finals decided. That changed this year, where now you just have the 2 games they decided to go. You'll either be co-champions or champions, so they wouldn't lose out on some of their non-conference games. But Kellenberg, they're one of those groups that wants to get back to that play for all the teams to compete. A little bit different, though, for the Cougars. Of course, they would love to do so, but they don't feel they have the same enrollment to sustain that. So it'll be interesting going forward what we'll end up seeing in the Catholic League. But for right now, these are two great rivals that have battled year after year. And the last 5 champions in the NSCHSAA AA have either been Kellenberg or St. John the Baptist. Hard dodge behind the net by Danny Wilson, the sophomore, just is making his first appearance. And of course, we'll try and double team him still with 5 seconds on the man up. The Cougars have it. 2 seconds, 1, we're back to all even. So 0 for 1 on the EMO. Here's Wilson. Shoots on the run and misses high. A verbal commit to the U.S. Naval Academy. Those big, strong lefties, and Mike Schwale has a bunch of them. Brandon Kelly will play catch with Wilson. Another lefty. Seems so many of these guys are cut from the same cloth. I don't know what they're eating during the off-season when they were kids, but they are all big boys out there. This is Crotty behind the net. Check that. It's Dylan Willis, number 24. What, 4 goals and an assist for 5 points in the last meeting. Barrett scoops it up and then will dodge up high. Takes the screen, works down the right side. Feeds a low pass to Abramo behind the net. Decides to shoot down low. Tommy Sullivan made the stop. Almost handcuffed him and went right between the wickets. But a good stop by Sullivan, the junior. Keeps it at a 1-0 game. Has been outstanding for them this season. As Bushley will go on a run. Bushley rips a shot and misses it wide. Connor Bushley, a sophomore, who was up as a freshman last year. Usually one of their face-off guys. However, since Argyros is so good at the X, they at points again have gone to that long pole, try and slow down some transitions. Here's Peter Scavone, a senior committed to play at Brockport. Cuts inside, tries to dump it, shoots it right over that left shoulder. Not an easy move to make, so hustle to the end line will stay with the Cougars. I keep saying it was 10-9, by the way, it was 11-10, the first meeting between the two teams. And some numbers jumbled up here. My apologies. Kept in by Justin Hollander, a junior. He's part of this midfield rotation. Now Sean Cavanaugh. And Bushley will cradle. Splits to his right. He had that short stick matchup. Now behind the cage and losing a helmet is Steven Becker. Penalty on the play as well. They're going to call it head contact, which will end up drawing this penalty. So 1 minute slashing penalty to number 11, Brendan Kelly. The second 1 minute penalty of this Thursday contest. 0 for 1 on the EMO here in the first quarter alone. A little more than halfway complete. Kleinfelder to Scavone. Shoots! Scores! An extra man tally, and that knots it up at 1 apiece. Peter Scavone is 28th of the season. That's a team high. And the senior who netted 2 in their last meeting and get another 1 today. Raphael Moses, who was the old man actually of that close D as a junior. The rest are sophomore and freshman. Back of the X with Argyros. Scooped up along the wings by Danny Wilson. Not often you see a lot of sophomores out there, but they have 3 on this roster. One of them who's not playing, Matt Sluka, who was the younger brother of defender Andrew Sluka. I was actually just talking to Matt before. He really wanted to be out there today. hoping to get back in a little bit of time. He's been out the last couple of weeks, but a real important part of that offensive attack, number 20 is. Abramo. Straight away is Billy Lombardi. Number 34 switches back to the left hand. And Patrick McNearney, the senior who was a Providence commit, will pass it off. And the Cougars stay in the zone that has given even the toughest teams fits so far this year. Long pass, Abramo picks it up, nearly handcuffs, trying to go to the backhand, McNearney. And Jack Leghart will corral. Straight away, Lombardi rips a shot, and it's stopped by Tommy Sullivan. Second save for the junior today. Here's the polo, Jack Stanwell, a sophomore close defender. And then Kleinfelder tries to shuffle across midfield, and he does. Bushley coming back on to complete out this offensive attack. 1-1's the score. Abramo, 1-0 for Kellenberg, followed up by a Scavone extra man tally on their last possession to tie the game. John Leo's pass got picked off by Mac Rivera, the junior who has some serious interest from a couple of teams. Now to transition. Straight away. Dodging to his left. It's Wilson. Shoots and misses wide right. A good little head fake. Opening up some space to grip and rip a shot. Brendan Kelly comes out to complete the 6. And that hit off the post. Got a couple of posts so far in this game. So Willis will move it back to Kelly at left point. Has the short stick matchup against Kleinfelder. Another quick substitution as Joe Grimm, the senior, will now come on, replacing Billy Lombardi. Here's Kelly. Kelly with some space inside, shoots and scores. Brendan Kelly. He netted 4 in the last meeting. He's got his first one today. With a little more than 2.5 minutes remaining, Kellenberg takes the lead back on the lefty shot. Salve Regina is where he'll be going next year. Guy he's used to getting in those tight spaces, a converted attackman to midfield. Bushley's going to take his first face-off today. It's Argyros. Won cleanly by Argyros. Here he goes, straight to the goal, shoots up high, and Sullivan makes the stop in the mesh. Just a nice clean win by the junior. Made it to Salisbury. And so far they've won every face-off but one, which came on a violation. Kavanaugh runs through traffic. Crossing the midfield, and there is a penalty on this play. It'll be against Kellenberg. Looks like the Firebirds are going to their third man down already in the first quarter. Just giving the Cougars countless chances. It'll be a 30-second offside. So another opportunity to equalize the score here in the opening frame. As Bushley will work up high. Gets the pole of the long stick midfielder, Matt Rivera. Scavone plays catch. Here's Becker. And Becker gets hounded. Skip pass, Bushley rips it wide. That was Kenny Brower, the sophomore, number 29, a Duke commit. One of the better sophomore defenders in this land. Bushley, Kavanaugh, they play catch. Kleinfelder, now Scavone. Good motion offense, and Becker rips a shot which does not reach Possadell in goal. Scooted out to the far sideline, getting past a couple, and here's Becker. We're back all even, 6-on-6. Becker weaves in, shoots with the left hand, and scores. What a nifty play by the senior captain, Steven Becker. It's all tied up at 2 apiece. Becker's 15th of the season as the penalty expired. Rafael Moses will take this draw for the Cougars. Two-2 game, 1:11 remaining, and a very entertaining opening quarter. Argyros gets hit up high, and we'll have our first EMO upcoming for Kellenberg. This is Wilson, and will miss a shot up high, so now we'll have a 6-on-5. Slashing penalty for a minute. Penalty assessed to Sean Kavanaugh. So with 57.3 on the clock, unless there's a goal, they'll be finishing up this first quarter on the man up. A chance to take the lead going into the second. Abramo, Danny Wilson, and they'll actually have a pole out there in Matt Rivera. How often you see that, number 22, straight away. Rivera shoots and scores! The pole on the man up, Matt Rivera. It's 3-2 Kellenberg. I'm saying not often you see that, but wonder why. What a release from Matt Rivera. Such an athletic player. Does the scouting report on the junior. And he gives the Firebirds a 1-goal lead. Argyros flips it right between his legs. Aiden Fitzgerald will pick up the ball. Fitzgerald, now Ellis straight away with 25 seconds to play. Missed pass looking for Willis. St. John the Baptist pick up the possession under a half minute. What a rip from Rivera. And not stop talking about that one. And it's so tough sometimes for goalies because they're not used to seeing the release point out of a pole. Here's Bushley, straight to the cage. And there was a whistle towards the backfield. I believe it was an offside. So that is what took away a shot attempt by Bushley. So under 10 seconds remaining here in the first. Kellenberg has the ball back in their own real estate. And they've led 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. Joe Grimm will look to just run this out across midfield. 2 seconds, still has a chance to rip a shot, bounces it towards the net. Sullivan had to make a save, moving towards his right. But that's the end of the first 12. So Kellenberg will go into the break up by a tally. It's CHSAA Lacrosse. Kellenberg, St. John the Baptist, only on News 12 Varsity.
You watch because it's your home, your school, your team. Because it's your brother, sister, daughter, and son. Because you love the "can you believe it, did you see that?" and the "oh my goodness, what a win" moments. So yeah, you watch. never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
We've played 12 minutes of lacrosse thus far, and Kellenberg has a 1-goal advantage over St. John the Baptist. Here at West Islip, the campus of St. John the Baptist, out in Suffolk County. Thanks so much for joining us. Dan Savarino here with you. Our crew on hand, Josh Drebsky's upstairs, Bob Stack running the graphics today, and Pat McCormick providing some excellent stats as well. I'll have a recap after the game. So it seems there was a penalty just at the end. It'll be offside penalty, so we'll have 30 seconds on the man up for Kellenberg, who was already 1 for 1. Rivera, the pole, has that 1 goal. Here he moves it on to the far side for Abramo, who scored the opening tally today. They try and feed Abramo, bounce pass, Wilson shot, and stonewalled by Tommy Sullivan. 5 saves in the contest for the netminder, who really has been one of those pleasant surprises. Had 21 saves in the first meeting against Kellenberg, 27 against Iona Prep. Bailed them out of plenty of mistakes this year, especially for such a young defense, which carries numerous sophomores and freshmen. And yet for them, it's been all mental. It's kind of been the perfect storm. Tom Gilmartin told me, the head coach over there, in the second year. So we have guys who, again, have not stepped on the field. Physically, they can match up with older players, but mentally, that's where it becomes different. We don't have that chance to get as many scrimmages in, as many practices in together. It's a difficult thing. They try and feed a pole who was cutting in. That was Jimmy Carney, the freshman close defender. So a turnover by the Cougars. And they'll go from left to right. Kellenberg, again, that road blue unis. First meeting was 11-10. This is Joe Grimm, the senior captain, who will play football at Cortland. You might know his name, quarterback on that football team. Billy Lombardi, an all-around guy. Jingle feed off to Grimm. They play catch right at the point against this zone. Willis, far goal line extended, straight away. Grimm, second-year varsity starter, is number 5. Kellenberg last year defeating the Firebirds. Well, the Firebirds defeating the Cougars, should say, 12-9 in that NSCH SAA championship game. They lost to Fordham in a downstate final by 2. Started the season 4-10 before 6 straight wins, including that title game. And the year prior, they lost to St. John the Baptist. Grimm, as now Willis inverts up high. Here's Crotty. Split dodge to his left, gets the pole. As Joe Aquino, the long stick midfielder, was there. Inside, a bouncer by Jack Leghart misses. He'll stay with Kellenberg. Leghart, a real good crease guy, pretty good finisher, and his dad actually one of the longtime assistant coaches. Defensive coach under Jack Moran at Chaminade. Good pedigree. Crotty works south of the cage. Here's Willis with a little pump fake. Danny Wilson. Wilson, face dodge to his left, gets a good slide, a bounce pass, finds Crotty. It's been a long possession for Kellenberg, who have not trailed in this game, despite already taking 3 penalties. Crotty. He'll go downstairs this time, tries to finesse inside to Danny Wilson off the edge of the cross and scooped up by Sullivan. So Sullivan looks to clear from his own real estate. A big guy with a pass right on a dime to Tom Kleinfelder. This is Sean O'Donohue, the fourth guy of the attack. Second-year varsity player who netted 7 last year. As just a freshman. Kavanaugh tries to move past Rivera. O'Donohue cuts to that far alley. Kleinfelder straight away has the short stick against Grimm. Kavanaugh gets hacked out a couple times by Brower. And Bushley will have to be back at the midfield. He's got the short stick in Lombardi. Bushley lowers the shoulder, timeout, Cougars. Tom Gilmartin wants to talk things over here. The head coach at St. John the Baptist. In his second year, former assistant, the former head coach, Larry Collins, now the head man at Sachem East. Plenty of experience in his own right. Won a national title with Syracuse back in 1990. Many years at the coaching realm and has been around this sport a long time. And we'll see that wherever you go in the island, you're going to have a varsity coach there who has a ton of experience, whether it's professionally or in college at the high level. He understands where obviously the struggles are in bringing in some of the big numbers. To come out and play for St. John the Baptist is one of those. Of course, not many can compete with bringing in the enrollment numbers of St. Anthony's or Chaminade, Kellenberg even, in terms of lacrosse on the island, but they are one of them, St. Dom's, Holy Trinity, trying to bring in some of the better lacrosse players around. That's the goal. You have to build the program. Again, it's one of those chicken and egg kind of things. But he feels the strength of this team. Got a lot of good young guys out there. And they always play hard. That's the best compliment, obviously, you can ever get. So even though the record may not show it right now, 2-7, even said it, you know, you get to playoff time, clicking at the right moments, with only a couple of games remaining. You'll see St. Dom's twice. You'll also see Chaminade on the 9th. Before you end up getting to the playoffs, you never know what can end up happening. And some teams might end up overlooking you because of your losses early on in the year. So it's 7 minutes remaining in the half. 3-2 lead for Kellenberg on the man-up tally by Rivera. No goals so far here in quarter number 2. Kavanaugh spins through a double team, shoots and scores. Oh, what an individual effort by the senior. Ties up the game at 3 apiece. Sean Kavanaugh had 3 goals in their last meeting, and last game that is. Really transitioning from a defensive role where he was an all-league player to more of an offensive guy. Rarely comes off. You can see why. First one always gets to that closest ground ball. And that spin was a thing of beauty. He got right through a pole and a short stick and fired on the run. Another win for Argueros. As Willis will work south of the cage. And Mike Abramo as well, the first-year starter. Kellenberg has not surrendered the lead today, and they took it very, very early in this game. Less than a minute in on their very first shot as well. Sullivan has made 5 stops in the first half. Willis dodges up high. Here's Barrett. Flips off to the near wing, spinning around. Kelly cuts inside, bounce shot. Sullivan made the first stop, but it trickled past him. Brendan Kelly, his second of the contest, and the lead is back for the Firebirds of Kellenberg. So we're only tied for about a minute. for the captain. The nifty little move inside. And again, he has that height advantage. Tried to bounce was past Sullivan. And it kind of fooled Tommy in between the pipes for a second. Still able to get a body on it. And that ball had so much spin, though. Trickled into the net. Giros with another clean win. He's only lost one today, and it was on a violation. Here he comes. Penalty coming as well. Stopped by Sullivan. Skied into the air. And we will have an EMO for Kellenberg in just a moment. 1 minute slashing penalty against Rafael Moses. The only multi-year starter on their close D will have to sit in the sin bin for a full minute. A chance for Kellenberg to extend their lead to the largest today. Already 1 for 2 on the man up. They'll work back to the point. Rivera, the long pull. Abramo, the Crotty. Takes it south of the net. Dodges that far goal line. Barrett. Kelly. Switches back to the right hand. Stick check from behind. Dislodges the ball. Still loose on the ground. Try to shovel in. And that's what having a pull out there helps you to do. That reach. Rivera picking up the ground ball. Under a half minute remaining in the 6-on-5. Shot misses wide from Barrett. So 21 seconds on the man advantage. Third one today where they are 1 for 2. Abramo dumps off to Crotty. Barrett looking for someone to pass to. Low shot, hit the side of the net. Came out of the stick quickly from the junior Crotty. And that will bring it back to even lacrosse. So 1 for 3 on the man advantage. Couple of shots as well, and only one of them hit the side of the net. Kavanaugh to Quinn Moscow Lynch. Ward Melville transfer. Didn't play varsity last year for the Patriots that won a Suffolk County championship. So many of their guys in defensive midfield roles can also play the pole. A lot of versatility. Kavanaugh dodges inside. Bushley, low shot, scores. Connor Bushley just got it past Posidel, and we're all even at 4 apiece. So Bushley, the assist from Kavanaugh, with 4:08 to go here in the half. Kellenberg still can't draw away a little bit from the Cougars. And back in that first meeting, St. John the Baptist held a 6-5 lead at halftime, also led after the first quarter. They have not led today. Nargros and Moses. And a hold against Moses will give Kellenberg the lacrosse ball. Prior to regular season meetings between these teams, it was an overtime win for St. John the Baptist last year. Year prior to that, St. John the Baptist won by 6. Get back to those winning ways. These two teams will meet twice this year, as is the second. And if it all shapes out, they might end up meeting for a third time. As Kelly with the skip pass up high, looking for Grimm. Popped loose by Aquino. Barrett couldn't control, hustling over and scooping up the ball as Crotty up high. Zips a pass in a near wing. Here's Brendan Kelly. Kelly works along the crease, gets the slide, and gets hounded. Pops loose. Alex Ellis is there to regain control with a little more than 3 minutes remaining here in the second frame. Kelly to Grimm. Grimm could definitely be playing college lacrosse if he wanted to. Wants to keep his talents on the gridiron, though. As Ellis moves to Kelly, who fires a shot right into the teeth of the D. And Mike Schwale is going to call a timeout. So with 2:41 to go here in the second frame, 4-4 is still the score. St. John the Baptist has not led in this game. Kellenberg, they have surrendered the lead, though, numerous times. I'll talk things over in the huddle. And of course, you know, with St. John the Baptist, Kellenberg, especially with the success the last couple of years of these two, not hard to get a lot of the guys excited for this one. Get tuned into the Boys Lacrosse Top 20 Poll Show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We'll take you around the Tri-State, check in with the new rankings. Again, with a busy week that it is, I'm sure we'll end up seeing some movement in those rankings, and we have tons of games for you over the next couple of days. We have stuff in action right now, but if you're looking forward, tomorrow, Syosset, Massapequa, a rematch, the Nassau County Finals from the last couple of years in A. And then Saturday, we have the 128th Woodstick Classic at night. 7 o'clock start from Manhasset under the lights. And also a rematch of the Nassau County B Championship. That's just some of the Long Island games that we have. We have plenty more for you. If you want to see them all, go to news12varsity.com. Hit that Watch Games Live, and we'll see them all. So after the Kellenberg timeout, Joe Grimm will cradle at left point. Right now they want a shadow, it seems, Brendan Kelly. All the way back out in the midfield. It's really playing 5-on-5 here. Low shot, and it bounces in. Joe Grimm skips it off the carpet into the back of the net. 5-4 lead for Kellenberg. So Grimm with 2:22 remaining. And it's all about the response. Both of these teams have done it. Kellenberg can't really pull away yet from more than a 1-goal lead. However, the Cougars of St. John the Baptist keep coming back and tying up this contest. So they have done already 4 times. They'll look to do it a 5th time. Loose ball in the midfield. Kleinfelder will pick it up. So rare possession off a face-off. And it comes from the wings. The sophomore, Bushley, thought about dodging towards the alley. Elects to go back out to the midfield with under 2 to play here in the half. This is Mike Healy, a first-year guy, number 33. Junior has the short stick matchup with Brendan Puce, the senior defensive midfielder. Kavanaugh gets his orders. As Kleinfelder comes back on, Kavanaugh gets hacked at by Marco Mangelli. Such a good cover guy, and that's why. Opportunity coming inside, trying to hit the trailer of Crotty, who was Abramo. Pass went too high. St. John's will get the ball back. They want to talk it over as well. $1:16 to play here in the second quarter. St. John the Baptist will have the lacrosse ball after the timeout. Shots are 17-12 right now in favor of Kellenberg, though. However, every shot they put on net, the Cougars have scored. Let's go for a perfect 5 for 5 and try and tie up the game late here in the second quarter. Dan Savarino here with you. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon for NSCH SAA AA action. Kavanaugh scored the last goal for them. A bounce pass, now back straight away. As Becker has really been shadowed most of this contest, and despite scoring that second goal of the game, you haven't said his name much because he hasn't been able to get to the ball. Bushley against the short stick, moves towards his right with 45 ticks remaining here in the second frame. O'Donohue. Mongelli with the stick check. Kavanaugh looks up at the clock. Switches to his left hand. Feeds off. Bounce shot saved by Posidel as Scavone had the shot attempt. And then Bushley stepped in the crease. Kellenberg will have the ball. So Posidel with his first save of the game and a big one. However, it will be with St. John the Baptist. They'll give it a push, actually. So 22 seconds remaining here in the half. Kavanaugh worked up high, stick check from behind, bounces on the carpet, and pinballs around a couple of times before Matt Rivera will have it and move the ball ahead. Here comes Kellenberg with 5 seconds to play. Ripping a shot wide right will be Crotty. 4.4 still on the clock. Ellis behind the net, tries to feed into the middle, and that will end the first 24 minutes of action. So for the second straight meeting, there'll be a 1-goal lead going into halftime. Instead, this meeting, it'll be Kellenberg, the visitors, with a 1-goal lead. Largest lead of the game has just been won. St. John the Baptist has tied it up 4 times. We're expecting to have a fun second half. Stay tuned, third quarter, just moments away on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all, the face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Welcome back to News 12 Varsity. Dan Savarino here with you. St. John the Baptist High School and in West Islip, Long Island, New York. 6-5 the score. Kellenberg leading the Cougars of St. John. Back to the face-off X as Kellenberg will go from left to right. And a win for Moses. Only their second win today and the first clean one as well. Becker, as he rocks the white uniforms, tops and bottoms for the hometown Cougars. Posidel still in goal for Kellenberg, and to our left, it's Tommy Sullivan, who has made 6 saves today. Kleinfelder will cradle up high. Works around a pick from Bushley and is met quickly by Aiden Fitzgerald. Now is a step on him as he falls down. Kavanaugh right in the slot over there, and is going to be a penalty. So this will end up being the 4th extra man opportunity for St. John the Baptist. First 2 penalties were a minute. They scored on their second one. A man-up goal by Scavone, which tied the game at 1 apiece. They've tied the score 4 different times, have not led. So 1-minute penalty to Ryan Barrett. 6-on-5 lacrosse for St. John the Baptist. Kleinfelder, far side Scavone, now goal line extended. Back to Scavone, straight away. Kleinfelder, step down shot, big save by Posidel, his 3rd. Fitzgerald clears the ball the other way. As Sean Crotty, the junior, will corral behind the net. Half minute remaining now in the man down. Crotty, pretty good ice hockey player, very heady player is the word from Mike Schwale. As Willis works past the 30. 5 seconds, 4-3, and then we'll go down and back to even strength. So 1 for 4 are the Cougars on the man up. And Kellenberg here with the possession and a chance to lead by 2. Should be their largest lead today. Here's Kelly with 2 goals already, and the bounce shot misses wide right. Brendan Kelly, you see the strength he brings out on the field. Barrett, Grimm, and Kelly, the 3 captains, and all playing on the first midfield unit. Willis, who had 4 goals and an assist, none so far today through 24 minutes of action. Kelly elects to dodge, splits to his right, bounce shot, didn't reach the cage. The putback hops over the net. That was Crotty with an attempt. Now the bounce shot will go. Ryan Barrett from about 15 yards out. A 2-goal lead, largest today for Kellenberg. Barrett's first of the game. And it comes 2 minutes and 27 seconds into the third. So as we said, the largest lead today, and the first time we've had back-to-back goals, and it all comes after a failed EMO by the Cougars. And Rafael Moses, the junior, has been taking all but 1 face-off, and he has won just once. Award against Paul Argueros. We'll give back-to-back wins at the face-off X for St. John the Baptist. So for them, hoping things might turn around. Now a chance to cut into the deficit. Kleinfelder just got robbed by Posidel. And goal is one of the areas they wanted to work on. A team that lost their goalie of the year in Kevin Rice. He's at Adelphi in a backup role as of right now. They lost a Longpo and Tom Gillies. As Kavanaugh rips it off the bar on the bottom right. Kleinfelder picks it up. The pump fake. Bushley behind the net. Here's Becker. Becker weaves inside. Shot and a stop by Posidel. Right along the crease. Long clear on the money. Here's Rivera. Watch out, he can shoot. Already has 1 goal today. Willis fires and scores. 3 unanswered goals by Kellenberg. Dylan Willis, his first today. So after a post and then a save by Posidel, turns into a transition tally. So 2 goals, a minute and 2 seconds apart. And Kellenberg expands their largest lead today. Jaros gets through 2 and then loses the ball on his own. And we'll have a push here, which will give the Cougars back the lacrosse ball. So it's kind of crazy when you look at it. There hasn't been a face-off win that's turned into a possession for Kellenberg in the 3 so far here in the third. However, 2 goals are on the board. As Kavanaugh will cut through the middle. Sean Kavanaugh. This kid can run for days. Running back, special teams guy, and all league as well for St. John football. Cutting to the middle was Hollander. Shot and a goal. It's Connor Bushley. So back to a 2-goal contest as Hollander kind of fooling a lot of defenders, pass right on the money, and then Bushley will pick up his second. So just 58 seconds, 57 seconds rather that. After Willis expanded it to a 3-goal lead. And it's back to a 2-goal game. It's been a very entertaining contest between two of the leaders in AA. Neither right now in our top 20 poll in the Tri-State. There's plenty of good talent out on the field. As a fog comes over in West Islip. And we're right along the water. And you always feel the chill out here. And our guys upstairs are. As Willis cuts inside. Sullivan will make the stop in the mesh. Willis is so quick to the cage. But Tommy Sullivan, 8 saves through 2 and about a half quarters. Turned over. Net's wide open. Willis running in on Sullivan. Bounce shot and in. Sullivan was trying to tiptoe back. And Dylan Willis didn't like that he got robbed a moment ago. Lead is back to 3. It's a lot of scoring in the last 3 minutes. Willis has 2 goals. And Kellenberg is outscoring St. John the Baptist 3-1 here in the third. Bushley will take this face-off. The second time the sophomore has taken a draw today. Their primary face-off guy, Margaros, has been so good at the X. Wins another one cleanly. Runs straight towards the cage. Roll back out to the midfield and hustle off for a change. Solid win by the junior. To his left, shot, and not sure if it reached the goal. Danny Wilson was the one to attempt that. Here's Kelly. On the far side, Wilson. Nowhere to go. We'll move it to that far alley. As Abramo got the scoring started. Now Willis. 2 goals here in the third quarter. Flicks a pass to Grimm. Wilson. Wilson in traffic. Right into the teeth of the D. And somehow Kavanaugh comes away with the ball. Sean Kavanaugh. Going end to end. Now Becker and Scavone. 3-year varsity player, 2-year all-league guy. Who finished with 45 points last year is Peter Scavone. Becker cutting towards the crease. Jarred loose by Brower. Kellenberg ball. What a job by Kenny Brower. The sophomore Duke commit. Such a good takeaway guy, and that is why he's been matched up with some of the better guys for St. John the Baptist. Force Becker down low to avoid a shot. Leads to a turnover. Now here comes Brower up the middle. Kelly, and onto the field. It's Grimm. They always like to play a competitive non-league schedule. As we mentioned back earlier on, 4 of their losses this season have been by a combined 6 goals as Grimm shoots and stopped by Sullivan. Had a tough game against Staples out of Connecticut, another solid group. Lost by 2 in that one. They want to keep playing these tougher and tougher teams and always giving them a run. Meanwhile, Scavone fires. right over the shoulder. Second today, a beauty from Peter Scavone. So back to a 2-goal affair with 4:25 remaining here in the third. Well, it seems he loves that shot right over the shoulder. So he's matched up with a defender and went right over Andrew Sluka. Sluka, one of the better 2-year starters, will be playing at St. John's next year. Another win between the 30s. Danny Wilson brings it into the offensive end. Here's Patrick McNerney, the senior, who's only seen a couple of shifts today. And Billy Lombardi as well, number 34. He played catch in the midfield. And St. John's has not really gotten out of his zone as expected. That is what they like to play on the defensive end. Abramo works up high. Now Lombardi spins back, cuts through a couple. Ball's loose. Willis will scoop it up and keep the possession alive for Kellenberg. Wilson, near goal line extended. Abramo straight away. Willis. They got deflected off the noggin, possibly, of Quinn Moskalinch, who is now wearing and using the pole. He's been a short stick guy earlier on today. The last couple of years, whoever wins this game usually ends up playing the teams of Iona Prep or Holy Trinity, Fordham Prep. They see each other during the regular season as well. St. John the Baptist fell by 11 to Fordham Prep. There's a shot inside, hits the back netting. Sean Crotty, his first one today. And the lead is back to a 3-tally advantage. So Crotty, the junior, doesn't make many mistakes out there. Did not make a mistake when attempting that shot. This will be a push against Moses. By the way, not too far away from here, a little more north, as Willis will come in himself. Big stop by Sullivan. Stretched all the way out to Rob Willis from his third. Tommy Sullivan, so stout between the pipes. Pass back to the net. Sullivan couldn't control. Here's Willis coming in on him. And he has 3. So failed clear turns into another goal for Dylan Willis. And now in the 2 meetings, he has a combined 7 goals. A third quarter hat trick for the junior. So you're saying right now Ward Melville leading Smithtown East by 2. Don't leave us. You can watch that full game replay afterwards before the New York Rangers will start for some playoff hockey tonight. I know Pat McCormick's very excited. Bob Stack says nobody cares about hockey. Pat does. He's a nobody then. It also going on News 12 Varsity as of right now. Iona Prep leading Fordham Prep 9-5 at half. Game right now is in the third quarter. And of course, it's one that is keeping an eye on very closely for these two groups. Under 2.5 to play here in the third. Kleinfelder working down the right side, tries to finesse a pass in the middle, looking for Hollander, and got stick checked before he could even receive that pass. So now a clear, as Brower will work from the far side. Brower, the lefty, floats one cross field right on the money to Kelly. Here head coach Mike Schwale saying slow down the offense. 4-goal lead, 95 seconds now remaining here in the third. Again, neither team has led by this much in the first meeting or in the second one. And a big reason has been failed clears for the Cougars here in the third. Here's Barrett, dodges towards the net, feeds behind to Abramo. Willis looking for 4, stopped by Sullivan. Willis gets the ball back. Kelly straight away. Floats a high pass that is received by Wilson. Wilson now gets the long pole from Aquino. Under a minute to play here in the third frame. Dylan Willis, the split dodge, fires, kick, save. Fighting for the loose ball. Bushley tries to reach in for it. Still loose on the carpet and somehow picked up by Moskalinch. Goes back to goal for Sullivan with a half-minute to play in the third. Stretching a pass in the middle of the field, and it was also a push there in the middle, which will give the possession to St. John the Baptist. So it'll start from right around that Cougar logo. John Cavanaugh to Becker. The future Drexel Dragon shoots on the run, saved by Pasadell down low. Well, for a guy who gave up 4 of the first 4 that he saw on cage, he has been pretty good, making some big stops over the last couple of quarters, including 2 here in the third frame, which has brought the lead to 4. It's 10-6. Willis had 3 goals back in that third quarter. Ryan Barrett had 1 of those as well. Stay tuned, fourth, just moments away on News 12 Varsity.
You watch because it's your home, your school, your team, because it's your brother, sister, daughter, and son. Because you love the "can you believe it, did you see that?" and the "oh my goodness, what a win" moments. So yeah, you watch. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Well, the goalies have been the difference today. Tommy Sullivan making 6 saves in the third quarter. However, he surrendered 5 goals, which has now extended Kellenberg's lead to 4. It's 10-6 we begin the fourth frame. Kellenberg, left to right, blue uniforms, tops and bottoms. Pasadell still in goal to our left. He made 2 stops back in that third. Tommy Sullivan, as we just mentioned about his saves, 6 of them in the third frame, in goal to our right. For St. John the Baptist, that wears the white uniforms. Dan Savarino here with you, as we'll have a 1-minute penalty upcoming. Argyros won the face-off. And then got slashed. We'll go to number 17, Quinn Moskalinch, the sophomore. So Kellenberg 1 for 3. Had the lone penalty and man-up opportunity back in the second. It's their first one of the fourth. A shot up high, and Sullivan makes the stop on Wilson. Said that plenty today. Good pass on the money to Aquino. Here comes the pole. Aquino tries to drop it downstairs. Goes right off the edge of the stick of Hollander. and then scooped up by Scavone. Peter Scavone, one of the 2 goals scored back in that 3rd frame for the Cougars. They tied the game 4 different times for the first 2. A chance in tight as O'Donoghue, his shot barely reached the cage. He got sandwiched between a couple of blue jerseys. In transition, as we're all even again, shot up high and a goal. That's Jack Leghart. The junior, nobody was near him. Took the pass, didn't really need to fake, and just beat Sullivan over the shoulder. He's first one today. Goal comes at 1:09 of the 4th. 3 unanswered goals, and they've scored 4 of the last 5 in this game. As the lead is now up to 5, which is the largest today. They have not surrendered it since Abramo started off the scoring early in the first. Timeout Kellenberg. The Firebirds will still have the possession early on here in the 4th frame, and they are in complete control right now. He's one of the reasons why Dylan Willis, 4 goals and an assist in the first meeting, 3 goals so far in the 3rd quarter. And for all the best highlights and analysis from around the Tri-State, tune into Stick Check. That's every Monday at 7 p.m., where Jimmy Cavallo will bring in an array of guests and our experts from Long Island, New Jersey, and the Hudson Valley. Again, that's Mondays at 7 p.m. Jimmy C., only on News 12 Varsity. So 11-6 lead for Kellenberg. And of course, we were mentioning about the AA, AAA early on in this game, and they would love to be able to move up. Of course, Mike Swale is very close friends with the 2 teams in the AAA. Jack Baran and Keith Weiserick of St. Anthony's. They're hoping to make that push at some point, and again, there's been a lot of discussion on whether you go to a league format. St. Anthony's and Shaman, of course, they don't want to lose their non-conference schedule. That's one thing that is a big recruiting process of bringing in some of the best talent on the island. The chance to see not just the best teams in the region, but really the best teams in the nation. From Maryland all the way up to Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. But they also don't want to be held out of their own tournament in the CHSAA. And as Keith Weiserick once said to me, the head coach of St. Anthony's, it's almost like you're being disrespected for being too good. You're told, you're too good, you can't play with us, in a way. They would love to be able to get everyone involved, and it seems most of the teams are on board. But we'll see how it goes, obviously, over the next couple of years and in the offseason. Those 2 teams, St. Anthony's, Chaminade, will have the action for you of round 2, which is a different round 2 than in the past. Chaminade won the first meeting, so they win that one. They are the AAA champions. But the AA title game has been a very exciting one over the last few years, and it's been either Kellenberg or St. John the Baptist. This has been an entertaining game as well, as Willis looking for 4, shoots high. Sullivan makes the stop in the mesh and then corrals it after it popped out momentarily. Kleinfelder tried to turn too quickly after the clear, scooped it back up, runs on the far sideline, and will change direction to the middle of the turf. Aquino zips past a couple, tries to drop it over midfield. It'll be a turnover. It's getting sloppy in the midfield on both sides. Bramo will garner now on the far sideline for Sean Crotty. Willis, and straight away, Grimm. Kellenberg, of course, going to be very patient with their offense at this point. Kelly just waiting. Brendan Kelly, one of the few guys going to Salve Regina. He cuts inside looking for his third and gets leveled after the shot. 20th shot of the half for Kellenberg and the 38th of the contest. Here they have an extra man up because they didn't get the change out quick enough. We're back to 6-on-6. That almost hurt St. John the Baptist. Crotty around the net and back to Kelly. Marco Mongeli's going to go to Salve Regina. His brother Michael is starting defender up there. As we mentioned about Kelly going to play. A couple guys also committed for Providence, McNeary and Ryan Barnett. So Barrett and McNeary are going to be teammates once again when they hit Rhode Island. There's a step down, hits the back twine. Joe Grimm. Second one today. The lead is now up to 6. Well, I know there may be 12 goals on the board right now against Tommy Sullivan. And it doesn't look great for the stat sheet. This guy has made countless saves today. And the one real good thing about the new rules in college lacrosse in terms of recruiting, it's taking away the early recruiting process. So now you can't have kids by their sophomore and freshman years, which a lot are doing now, already verbally committing, which is taking away spots on the roster for guys like Sullivan or other late bloomers, guys who didn't get as much notice. And cutting inside, another stop by Sullivan as he stonewalls Danny Wilson. So Coach Gilmartin hoping that maybe his play over the last season and this in 2017, his first year starting, could end up getting him maybe a look at Division II, Division III, and move on and play some college lacrosse. Timeout is called by SJB. We had 7:51 to play here in the fourth. So it gets colder here on Long Island. Of course, the weather has been very, very interesting over the last few weeks, and it has hurt many of these teams. As we mentioned about St. John the Baptist losing out on their game Tuesday against St. Dom's. Having to play them now on the 4th of May. Around the rest of the league right now and in the Tri-State, Iona Prep up 10-8 after the third quarter. That was a 4-goal lead for Iona Prep, which is down to just 2 as they enter the fourth frame. And meanwhile, again, it was 8-6 for Ward Melville and Smithtown East. We'll get you an update on that score. We try to find Dylan Butler and see an update. And the last Dylan has was 8-6, so he's a little busy momentarily in the middle of calling the game of Matt Shortis. Bring it back to this action here in West Islip. 6-goal lead. It was a 1-goal game at halftime, 5-4. Kavanaugh, Escavone. Works it back straight away for Kavanaugh. Bushley tried to turn his head before he received the pass. And it will result in a turnover. Fitzgerald, the defensive midfielder, running straight to the cage in the slot, and another goal. It's Brendan Puce. The senior makes it a 7-goal game. Brendan Puce, another player who's going to go play at Salve Regina. One of the 3 on the roster right now. And this is a 5-goal run. Argyros, straight to Abramo, and scores. A face-off to a goal as he tiptoed right along the crease. It's now 14-6. Six unanswered. And in the second half, they are outscoring St. John the Baptist 9-2. Another clean win by PJ Argyros. This kid is really good at the face-off X, one of those that we're not talking about. Maybe we should be. He has been dominant today. Only lost a few, and a couple of them from the violation. As Ellis with the backhander stopped by Sullivan. Trying to hit his highlight reel goal here in the second half. We've seen a few of them today on both ends. Well, strength for St. John the Baptist, again, has been relying on this defense, which is very young. Oldest guy is a junior in Moses. And plenty of other freshmen and sophomores who worked into the rotation. Stanwell, who's a sophomore. Carney, who's a freshman, has really emerged as one of their better players. Then Sullivan, who has been very stout in between those pipes, despite surrendering 14 goals today. Brandon Kelly. The pass misses, looking for Barrett. Kleinfelder in transition. Here's Becker. Becker's shot misses wide right. And Stephen Becker is going to go play for Brian Volker down in Philadelphia, and he has said, Volker, one of the main reasons why, plus the location, not too far away from home. As it looks like Kleinfelder is the guy who's down on the turf right now. 5:43 to go here in the fourth. 6 unanswered goals by Kellenberg. Has the lead up at 14-6. Kleinfelder walks off under his own power. 8-goal lead for Kellenberg, including 4 here in the second half scored by the Firebirds. 9-2 is the scoring in the second half alone. It was a 1-goal game at halftime. Becker will work around the crease, cuts back, shuffles shot towards the net. Posadel made the stop at the body. And now there's another player down on the field. It looks like Becker is the guy. So Stephen Becker will be attended to by the training staff. 5:11 to play here in the fourth. 8-goal lead for the Firebirds. St. John the Baptist, Stephen Becker, taken off the field, now will be attended to by the trainers. We resume play with about 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. And a second half that has been all Kellenberg. Aquino, good play in the middle of the field. Leads to a long rush and couldn't be held in by Hollander. Now he's surrounded by 4 blue jerseys. And will stay with the Cougars on the far side of the field. Peter Scavone mostly has been a finisher in his career. You can see his shooting ability. And cutting in, maybe one step too many, was Mike Healy. Got past the first one, couldn't get past the second. Kavanaugh, such a good hustle player, straight away. Bushley winds and fires. This is up high. Well, Sean Kavanaugh will play football at Gettysburg next year. He's so good at hustling over for those loose balls. And one thing that's been coming has been play a little harder, play a little more confident. You know, it's about those extra ground balls, those extra little mistakes on the clear. You can make those adjustments, a different contest. The same can be said today, but Kellenberg's offense, we've seen it in different ways in the second half. That has been a common theme. Wouldn't be surprised if you see a nice article written about that after the game. A common theme of scoring in different ways. Log on to news12varsity.com. Read the full game recap. As it gets much colder out here in West Islip. The sun setting over this campus. And Kelly will try and work past a couple. Aquino trying to stick check from behind, and this time he does successfully. Joe Aquino has been good this senior long pole, and returning starter in that position. This is Alex Portera, number 12. Mostly a defensive midfielder and played the pole last year. Scavone flips a bounce pass to Bushley, has him space, and the hand's free, just fanned on the shot. Scavone will pick it up again. Gets nearly triple teamed. Mike Healy will garner. 2:40 to go here in the fourth. Healy down the right side. The junior works back to Bushley. Bushley not the biggest guy, as you can see. As he works past another number 8, shoots on the run and scores. Bushley's third of the contest. Back-to-back games, he has netted a hat trick. And that is the first goal here in the fourth quarter and ends a 6-goal run. It is crazy to see how Kellenberg, all the injuries they have battled. Brower was out, so was Grimm the first couple of weeks. Sluka, as we mentioned, Matt Sluka, the younger one, has been out for a few weeks, and he's a big piece to this offense. Another chance in tight. Sean O'Donohue will cash in. So after a face-off win, ball pinballed around a couple of times, back-to-back tallies. Just 11 seconds apart. Yeah, losing guys like Brower and Grimm, and then Sluka, as we mentioned. Danny Wilson was injured at points. Those are 4 key players. When you're facing a really tough non-conference schedule. Again, John Glenn, a double OT loss. So they're opening the season up to Comac, a double OT loss to John Glenn. St. Anthony's, Massapequa, losses. Staples, where they were up. Fordham Prep, they fell. Chaminade, they fell. They've lost their last 2. Between that win of St. John the Baptist 3 games ago. And they're just a $1.45 away from getting back to their winning ways and sweeping the regular season series with St. John the Baptist. Coach Schwale telling me, trying to pull together at the right time, and they've always told them, you're playing for games in May. You want to peak in late April, early May. And they all want to compete for a championship. That's what means the most to them, and it's all part of the process. In the words of the Philadelphia 76ers, trust the process. Well, the difference is this process might work a little bit better. As a pass skips right through the middle of the field. O'Donohue, Bushley. Couldn't even get the shot off. Was Vin Correnti, the junior, making his first step on the field today. Oh, a 30-second push. With just 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining here in the contest. 1 for 4 on the extra man. Bushley and Kleinfelter will work the points. High pass. It was not deflected, so Kellenberg will have the ball. Did some turnovers today and some unforced turnovers on the St. John the Baptist side. That's one area that the Kinks obviously need to be worked out going forward, because it's given Kellenberg some good possessions. And they will call a timeout with 7 seconds remaining on the man down and under a minute to play here in the fourth quarter. And of course, many thanks to our crew as always, as they do such a great job throughout the course of the year, and we love covering all of these great games that we get a chance to see, including tomorrow's top 20 battle, Massapequa, Syosset, a rematch of last 2 years. The Nassau A championship game. It's Pequa and Syosset, 4:30 only on News 12 Varsity. You'll hear Dylan Butler and yours truly. And then, of course, after that game, I'm sure we'll end up seeing some changes in the top 20 poll. That's every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on News 12 Varsity, where Jimmy Cavallo will break down the top 20 with our crew of experts in the Tri-State. I'll tell you what, for me, you can't ask for anything more. You're seeing some great lacrosse over the last couple of days. 3 in a row between this game and tomorrow the Pequa-Syosset game, and then Saturday at the Woodstick Classic. First 2 programs here on the island creating lacrosse teams in in Manhasset, and of course Garden City. Plethora of state championships, Nassau County titles between the two. Under 30 seconds to go as we're all even. A turnover in the midfield. Make sure you stay tuned after the game. We'll talk to one of the victorious Kellenberg Firebirds. Rivera, he had a goal today, the pole on the extra man, as Ryan Barrett will bring it across midfield. Here's Brendan Puce, he also scored out to the midfield, and the buzzer sounds. The fourth quarter and late in the third, that was the difference maker for Kellenberg. It was a 1-goal game at halftime, not in the final score. 14-8 the final. The Firebirds sweep St. John the Baptist in the regular season meeting. They may be meeting again in just a couple of weeks for the AA championship in CHSAA. We'll be back with more on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all, the face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Welcome back to News 12 Varsity. 14-8 the final score as Kellenberg defeats St. John the Baptist here on the road. Here, Brendan Kelly, one of the captains of this group, scored 2 goals today. And overall, I mean, every time you see St. John the Baptist, you've seen them year after year, one of their greatest rivals. How does it feel to get now 2 wins against them in the regular season?
Yeah, you know, it's always a big game against them, but it's all about preparation, how you're starting in the off-season, how you're working at practice. You know, you got to come out every day working hard, you know. I learned that from my parents. They always taught me nothing was handed to you. You always got to work, you know, and they're my biggest supporters. Have a lot of love for them.
Well, this game overall, obviously, is a 1-goal game going into halftime, and they tied up the score 4 different times before a second half that really just completely turned the tides. What changed in the second half for you guys?
Yeah, you know, we came out gunning the second half, but it's very nice to have an offense. When you're on offense, you could play calm because you know you have such a great defense. We got guys like Marco Mangelli, Kenny Brower, who's heading to Duke in 2 years. That kid is an absolute stud. You know, it just lets you play that much more comfortably.
Well, for you in this group, obviously, you've had a tough non-league schedule going forward. Even though the wins aren't there, obviously the talent is. For you guys, how do you stay confident through all of this?
Yeah, you know, you just got to always walk with your head up. You know, we played Massapequa, a great team, lost by 1 with 30 seconds left. We had Staples up We were up 5-1. We ended up losing, but you just got to stay positive and come ready to work every day.
Well, going forward for this season, obviously a few games left in the regular season before the big time when you hit the postseason. How does this team get even better going forward?
We just got to come out every day for practice, ready to work. You know, we remember what happened last year up at Fordham, and we're looking to come back for some revenge. You know, we're a hungry team. We're looking to finish out strong and get the state championship.
Well, still a little bit time's away, but they're rolling right now. 2 goals today for Brendan Kelly, a 14-8 final score as St. John the Baptist falls to the Firebirds of Kellenberg. That's going to do it for us here at News 12 Varsity. Many thanks to our entire crew as always. Our producer, Josh Drebsky, Bob Stack, and Pat McCormick. I'm Dan Savarino saying thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
You watch because it's your home, your school, your team. Because it's your brother, sister, daughter, and son. Because you love the "can you believe it, did you see that?" and the "oh my goodness, what a win" moments. So yeah, you watch. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.